12th Annual Classic Slam.
Are tired of not living. Do you understand me? A revolution is stirring. And I'm smiling victoriously. But I'm also crying. My cry is deafening. When thousands of hands lift into the air and expose the naked brow of this unforgivable beauty. And each strand of hair, shades of scarlet and chestnut, sway their voluptuous hips, ridiculing this attempt at their misery.
So all year long we have a poetry program that runs as an English class in high schools throughout Southern California, and the culmination of the year-long program or the semester-long program is this Classic Slam. So all the high schools that run our program come together over the course of a week and slam and compete, and then the top 4 teams come together to the Grand Slam finals, which is tonight, to have the final competition and see who takes home the grand prize.
I love the whole concept of Get Lit, and Diane invited me, and I was like, of course, it's a no-brainer. Since the early '90s, poetry was kind of always seemed like cool. Like when I was like 93, 94, I was really active in the underground spoken word movement here in LA, and then like shortly after that, poetry kind of became the cool thing. Like, at some point, every city had spoken word venues. Because I was at a point where whenever I would go to another city for any kind of personal appearance, I would always find the spoken word venues to go to. So it was something that was always around. And I think, after with the influx of deaf poetry and and Lyric Cafe, then it really became cool because people were on TV doing it. And then at some point, it felt like it started to dip because it wasn't necessarily like, it wasn't necessarily the trend. But, as with always, where you've got, hardcore artists who were true to the craft, then there are always outlets and there are always going to be poets doing their thing. And I think with, after Brave New Voices really showed young people that there is there's a platform. Different from when I was growing up. Like, the young people now, they have a voice, they have the tools, and they have a platform. And I think now that that's been firmly established, poetry is always going to be, once again, a necessary avenue of expression for young people, regardless of whether they're on TV or not.
Maybe it's the way boys look at each other before the last game. Their eyes wet and glimmering with rain. Maybe it's that I catch them.
Well, my name is Salome Agbaroji. I'm a judge for the Classic Slam. I'm also the West Regional Youth Poet Laureate of the United States. And I'm involved with Get Lit from the beginning of my poetry career. I started a few years ago, and Get Lit has been my home. I love poetry, and I love what Get Lit does for youth. Poetry is on many people's radar, and it definitely wasn't for me. If you would have gone to my elementary school self and said, Salome, you're going to be a poet, I would have been like, get out of my face. I'm not going to be, like, it wasn't anything I was thinking of. But I recognize that, especially as someone who loves rap and loves speeches from important figures in society, I realize that poetry is kind of the medium where you can be political and you can be your true self and talk about society, but have an artistic flair to express yourself as well. And that medium was something that I embraced fully. It embraced me, and it's just been my mode of expression ever since.
We have a lot of free classes. We have things happening all year. We have online classes. We have all kinds of programs. We have teachers trainings. We train teachers to teach this curriculum in their own classroom. So there's easy ways for all kinds of people to get involved. And then, of course, there's also great spoken word programs all over the country. So if it's a young person and they're like, I want something local and I live in Wisconsin, there is something there for them if they just look it up.
What's good? I'm Malcom Jamal-Warner, and you have just been buzzed, baby.